All right, guys, hello and welcome. I am so excited that you're here this evening. Thanks for the shout out for that playlist. We created that for our NELA this year. So if anyone is interested, you just look up SHPE 2020 on Spotify. And yes, that's a good question, Adrian. Yes, this recording will be made, sent to all of those who register. We do want to make sure that we're tracking who has access to this. So as long as you register for the event, a recording will be sent to you. So hola SHPE familia, and welcome to tonight's Intro to Internship webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I do have a few housekeeping items. I will share this recording of the session with all registrants, just like we just talked about. But I'm also going to send you links to apply, links to register for our early career panels, and also links to additional resources. So keep an eye out for that email coming here as soon as I get the Zoom recording. I'm going to be sending a lot of extra stuff your way this evening or early tomorrow. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat box and I will answer them when appropriate. Our goal here tonight is to give you a bunch of information, but I really want to answer and spend those times with your question. So we'll also end the webinar tonight with a Q&A if time permits. And if we don't get to your question during today's webinar, be assured that I will follow up with you and get that answer to you as soon as possible. So let's go ahead and get started here. My name is Ashleigh and I'm one of the managers for the research and innovation team at SHPE. I'm specifically the project manager for internship and mentorship. I include my email on here and I am genuinely, please reach out to me if you have any questions. There are no silly questions in this process. I want to help you navigate this wonderful opportunity that you have here. We also have Alicia Gutierrez tonight. Alicia is our senior diversity recruiter at Medtronic, and she's been at Medtronic in talent acquisition for over 3 years. Alicia is going to answer all of your internship specific questions during tonight's Q&A and also over email. So she's so graciously also included that email for you guys. So some good resources here. Make sure and jot those down. Again, I will send this to you guys in those attachments and links at the end or after the recording is available. So let's go ahead here and talk about our internship program and partnership. So tonight, we are going to cover the benefits of participating in an internship program, the help that SHPE will provide for you from experts to polish your resume and to help you rock your virtual interview. We're also going to learn about Medtronic and the opportunities available for summer 2022. We're going to look at what that application process is going to look like for SHPE Medtronic students. And we're also going to learn about upcoming events in our partnership. So I am certain that your professors and your Career Center staff have told you guys, and that's why you guys are here today. You know how important internships are. Internships are going to give you that advantage when it comes time to secure your dream job. And research tells us that graduates with paid internships receive a significantly higher salary than those without internship experience. And so SHPE wants to help you excel at your internship. And so that's where our internship program comes in. So now we're going to look at all of the different supports that we provide for you in internship. So SHPE is here to provide you support throughout the entire internship process. So from your application through the last day on your internship or job. For application support, I recommend that you utilize our Latin X Factor webinar series. So I'm just going to pop over here and show you what that looks like here. Now, are you still able to see if I can get a head shake that you are seeing my screen with the perfect. Thank you. I appreciate the thumbs up, guys. So Latin's X Factor is going to be another resource for you. It is a located on SHPE National's YouTube channel. So you can see that here. There's a lot of different options, but it is host subject matter experts covering topics like acing your interview, polishing your resume, topics that we've specifically selected to help make you stand out in an application process. So a couple that I really recommend for you, you can see on our Latinx Factor YouTube channel, we have 38 recordings. I encourage you to sift through them, but two really helpful ones. There's a resume writing tips one that we just released this spring. Wonderful experts having over 20 years of experience helping you polish that resume. And then there's also one called Master the Virtual Interview that's going to help you master and do those interview pieces as well. So I just encourage you to kind of explore that. So again, you can navigate to our Latinx Factor directly from SHPE's webpage, or by going to our YouTube and just searching Latinx Factor. So definitely a really good resource that's going to help you with that application process. Now let's jump back and look at the supports that SHPE provides for you. Oh, should have gone to the next one, so I apologize there. So SHPE, oh goodness. There we go. Okay, so SHPE support doesn't stop there after we get you that resume submitted, that application submitted. So expanding upon traditional internships, our internship program itself provides wraparound support. In other words, we're here for you when you need us the most, for interns year-round to gain a sense of community in a cohort model and build upon professional development. So there's a pre-internship phase, which would happen in the spring semester before your internship actually starts. And you're going to get into activities like mentorship, as well as self-study courses related to successfully navigating the first month of your internship, and topics like personal finances, understanding your paychecks, and your W-2s. So we're really setting you up so that when you walk on Medtronic's campus, you are ready to be successful. We then continue support, continuing to grow that community for you and support through, we have an orientation or boot camp specifically for our members. We also are going to do monthly lunch and learns, and then we're going to have additional self-study courses related to project management. And then of course, you're going to continue to participate in mentorship. Mentorship is an awesome opportunity for you as students to connect with professionals at Medtronic. Mentorship is going to utilize an interface or a software that ensures you have a goal-driven mentoring relationship. So that way we're really making sure you maximize the benefits to you as a mentee. So that's a good question I see here. And I apologize, the YouTube channel is just Latinx X Factor. Again, you can also navigate to those YouTube channel for Latinx Factor just from the Latinx website. And then the internship support. So these internship supports are going to be specific for interns that are hired by our corporate partners. And so this first year, we're doing this with Medtronic. A lot of the supports that we have are available for you outside of the internship experience, but these are really tailored into specifically help those people that are working at Medtronic and really partnered with Medtronic for picking out those different programming pieces there. That's a great question. All right, so now that we know how the internship program works, let's get to our corporate sponsor, get to know our corporate partner, Medtronic. So SHPE and Medtronic have partnered together to provide the opportunity for interns to participate in the SHPE Medtronic College Fund Partnership for summer 2022. So that was a great question. It really led into this. So let's now learn about Medtronic here. And so I will give the caveat that this is a really brief overview of Medtronic. Medtronic is an awesome partner to SHPE. They've done a lot to support our students, and this is just taking it up to the next level by helping you get these wraparound services for interns. So Medtronic is going to be a global leader in delivering healthcare solutions for over 70 disease states and more than 150 countries. Medtronic pushes the limits of what technology, therapies, and services can do to help alleviate pain, restore health, and extend life. So Medtronic technology, from pacemakers, diabetes pumps, and much more, touched the lives of more than 72 million people around the world last year alone. If you think about that, that's more than 2 people every second. So interns that work at Medtronic are really, truly impacting the entire world with their work. So that's a really awesome piece about this company. Something else that's really cool about Medtronic is they are very mission driven. So every one of Medtronic's employees with whom I've spoken always connects their work to their mission, and they happily will tell you and spout off what their mission is. So it is so clear how important this mission is to each employee. So I encourage my interns as well, definitely spend the time and do a little bit of a dive into Medtronic's website, learn for yourself about this mission, and make sure you connect your work to this when you do your interviews. That will be really important. Medtronic's mission is going to dictate that first and foremost priority is to contribute to human welfare. So this statement serves as the ethical framework. It guides the day-to-day work and is the inspirational goal for employees around the world. In that picture is a co-founder holding their mission medallion, which every single employee gets after working there for a year to remind them of that mission. So that's how important their mission is. So absolutely something I encourage you guys, if you're interested, to get to know a little bit more about Medtronic. That's a great way to dive in and learn about them. So now that we've done a very quick overview of Medtronic, let's look at our internship specifically. Opportunities. So Medtronic is focused on hiring top diverse talent who can make an immediate and long-term impact at Medtronic. So as an intern, your new perspective will help fuel innovation and accelerate growth as you work on projects under the guidance of an experienced manager. Interns are encouraged to stretch themselves, learn new skills, and make meaningful contributions. At Medtronic, you'll have the opportunity to work on impactful, real-world projects and also take advantage of intern programming focused on networking and professional development, volunteering and getting to know one another, and getting to know the company culture. So that is kind of their basic internship. We also, of course, for our SHPE students that are participating for the internship, we'll have additional supports on top of that we talked about earlier. So high-performing interns are going to be considered for full-time opportunities or return internships. You guys, that means that you may be able to secure a full-time job before starting your senior or super senior year. So that's an awesome, outcome of participating in an internship with Medtronic. So the full-time internship positions will be from June 6th to August 19th of 2022. And let's look at those internship qualifications. First, for the most part, you need to be a sophomore or junior student. So to be considered, you cannot be completing your bachelor's degree in May of 2022. I know that there are some areas that may be a little questionable. So if you are unsure if you qualify, please reach out to Alicia or I, and we can help clarify that for you. Target majors. So they're looking for students that are getting bachelor's degrees in biomedical engineering or bioengineering, computer or software engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science or data science, or a related engineering major. And then outside of engineering, we are also targeting finance, IT, and supply chain. So quite a few different engineering majors there. If you're unsure of, again, if you are in a different major, but you feel like you're very interested in the biomedical, you have some applicable experiences, again, don't hesitate to reach out. We can help you determine if one of those might be the best fit. It is a paid internship. Yes, thank you, Alicia. I see there's another question there in the chat if Alicia might be able to respond to that as well. So we're going to touch on, that's a great question. So it looks like you'll be graduating in the end of summer. So I'm going to let Alicia respond to that question if you'd be eligible or not. The last piece that is important is you do have to be legally authorized to work in the US on a full-time basis. So let's go ahead then. So that leads us into what are the locations as well. So internship locations will vary depending on your discipline. So that the pay bands are included on the applications, the locations are included on the applications. And I will, after we get done with our Medtronic portion tonight, I'm going to hop into showing you exactly what those applications will be. In 2019, just for reference, the majority of engineering interns were based in Minneapolis, but they were also in Northridge, California, Boulder, Colorado, North Haven, Connecticut, Santa Rosa, California, and Tempe, Arizona. And as of today, Medtronic hopes for all interns to be on site for summer of 2022. But they did assure me that if anything changes, they really prioritize that communication with you guys and making sure you're aware of if changes do happen, and thank you. So just to reiterate, the question in the chat was, if you're graduating in July of 2022, would you be eligible? And so you do need an additional semester of school after summer. So you would need, the earliest graduation would be December 2022 graduation. Thank you for clarifying that, Alicia. All right, so the important part, the things you guys are probably really curious about is, what are the benefits? So obviously we know this can lead to full-time offers. We know that that can help you get a higher wage once you are able to get full-time offers, but there's competitive pay. So those pay bands are going to be included on the job applications. Medtronic will also offer housing assistance for out-of-state interns. So depending on if you're in the Minnesota campus or the Northridge, there are some specific options for there. They have relocation expense reimbursement. They also are going to have educational and social events throughout the summer. So they really want to help you, if they're in-person opportunities, really want to help you get to those locations. So just know that there will be a lot of support coming from Medtronic for those pieces there. And so let's go ahead. That kind of covers, again, those are a really brief, high-level overview of Medtronic and those internship positions. I will say, again, I keep coming back, is that check out the applications. I'll show you where those live here in a second. They are going to have a lot more information about Medtronic, about the requirements, about those different pieces there. So for the application process, your first step will be to apply through SHPE's website. And I have to say that's super important, so that you are utilizing our website for the SHPE Medtronic internship program. And so on that link, I'll go there here in a second, but you're gonna find the application links, requirements, all of that stuff I was just talking about. So I'm gonna go here and show you what that looks like. So here again on SHPE's website, if you go into programming, internship is going to live here on our programs page. Slowly but surely. So that programs page, that's where internship is. That's also where our Latin X Factor is. So both of those things that are super important for you, you can navigate to both of those from our home page here. But internship, I want to show you what we have for you in terms of our internship site. So on our internship site, the early career panels, we'll talk about those here towards the end of this evening, but just know that those registration links will live here as well. And then most important for you guys here are the applications and the requirements. So again, there's 4 disciplines. We're looking at engineering, supply chain management, finance, and information technology. If you're in engineering, it tells you the requirements, so that bachelor's degree, the different buckets, the different areas of engineering they're interested in, GPA requirements, full-time participation, and then the dates. So if you feel confident that you meet those basic requirements, go ahead and click on any of the applications. Again, pick the one that is the most suitable for you. When you click on that application here, you are going to see some more information about Medtronic. You're going to see some more specific information. So the link that I clicked on was for biomedical engineers. And so you're going to see very specifically, as a biomedical engineer, here are the types of projects that you could potentially be working on as an intern. So that's a really cool piece there. You're going to see the pay band. You're going to see the potential areas as well. One thing that's important on here is the application requirements. So you're going to have to give us some personal information, academic information, have that resume ready to upload. Again, take advantage of that Latin X factor, and they're going to be able to review that for you, or not review that, give you some good tips on how to make that a successful resume. And then we have some free write pieces for you to just give us a little blurb about if you have leadership experience, volunteer experience, research projects. Again, none of those are required, but if you want to brag about yourself, you can definitely do that in those spots. And then the requirements down here as well. So if you read through this stuff, you're still intrigued, if you hit apply, I want to show you what's going to happen right away. So there are some pre-qualification questions. You do have to pass, this is essentially a very basic screen to make sure that you would be eligible for an internship if selected. So you'll answer these questions, you'll hit submit. Once you answer those questions, again, don't be shy, reach out if you're saying, you know, I am actually going to be a super senior, I'm not graduating till, you know, December 2022. What does that mean for me? Reach out to me, I can help you with that. If your degree is in not quite biomedical, it's, you know, biochemical or something like that, again, reach out to me. We can talk and make sure these are going to be a good fit for you. Once you pass the screening stuff, though, you'll go ahead and need to create an account to apply for this program. And so this is just an application in our, an account in our application system. So that way, if you don't finish in one go, it is going to allow you to log back in. If you don't have your resume, it'll, you know, you create this to essentially allow you to come in and out and, you know, save your progress and stuff like that. So don't be alarmed. You're going to need to go ahead and create a new account. So you can go ahead and create that application in our system. So that is going to be the process there. I saw another question in the chat that I think is really good, so I'm going to go ahead and address that. Someone asked, is the internship salary the same salary of an entry-level position after the internship? And we do know that the salaries for full-time roles are going to be different than intern rates as well. So another really good question. Let's go ahead. I'm going to hop back into my presentation here, but keep those questions coming. They're really good. We want to make sure that we are, you know, getting you and navigating to the right application and making sure that it all applies for you. So let's go back into that slide here. So let's say you've done your application. So you're going to be notified via email if your application is selected for a one-way video interview. So one-way interviews are going to allow you to do them when it works best for your schedule. But I do want to give students a heads up that similar to an in-person interview, you're only going to be able to record one response. And so with the interview software that we're utilizing for this, they allow you to do practice questions. They allow you to ensure that your technology, your camera is set up appropriately, that your microphone is working appropriately. So I do encourage you, if you do get invited for that first round interview, is to definitely utilize those resources that you're going to have from our software partner. So I'm going to hop in just really quickly here. Maybe, there we go. And I'm going to show you, let me get my share screen option here. So I want to show you guys what this will look like for you. And so one
In this video, we'll cover best practices, how to start, and how to complete your video interview. Position your webcam at eye level. Turn on all available lights in the room and ensure that you're well lit. Be mindful of your background. It should be professional and not distracting, and make sure your recording space is quiet and comfortable. Click Continue. From your interview overview page, make sure your microphone and webcam have been detected. This is indicated by green check marks. If your microphone or webcam have not been detected, click the Get Help Here button, where you'll be able to select your hardware or contact RIV support. Click Get Started. During the audio and visual test, make sure you're centered in the window containing your webcam feed. Say a few words in a normal volume and make sure your microphone's volume bar is moving with the sound of your voice. Click Yes. If your audio or visual test is unsuccessful, click the No button for troubleshooting tips and technical support. During the next step in the interview process, you'll take a practice question. This will not be seen by the employer and will help you familiarize yourself with the recording process. Click Start. Review the on-screen walkthroughs and click Record Now when you're ready to record your practice response. Click Stop when you're through with your recording. Review your response by clicking the play button on the video player. If you'd like to try again, click the Practice Again button. If you're having technical difficulties, click the Troubleshoot button. And if you're ready to begin your interview, click the Finish Practice button. Review the on-screen instructions and click Start. The first question in your interview will be displayed. Review the question and click Record Now when you're ready to record your answer. In the time meter, you can see how long you'll have to answer the question. Speak normally and make sure you're centered on screen. When you're through with your recording, click Stop. If your interview has retries permitted, you can review your response and you'll have the opportunity to re-record your answer if you'd like. If your interview does not have retries permitted, you'll automatically progress to the next step. After recording your final attempt, your recording will be uploaded and your interview will be complete. Review the outro message and click Finish.
Alright, so that gives you guys a pretty basic idea of what that is going to look like for you as a candidate if you get invited for that interview. So let's go ahead here and go on. So let's say you do your first round interview via one-way video recording. Then you're going to be notified via email if your application is selected for a second round interview. So I would just give you guys a heads up to make sure that you carefully follow Medtronic's instructions if that's the case. And so you'll also see kind of deadlines here on the screen. So that application, if you're interested in applying, is going to be available until September 19th. Those first round interviews have to be done by October 5th. And then you'll be getting, again, that communication from Medtronic. So their goal is to have those start in the end of October. So again, just make sure you're keeping on top of that email. I know as students, sometimes we forget or get bombarded with email. So just keep an eye out for that. Let's go ahead here. And I always say is that, we've done a quick overview of Medtronic. We've shown you guys what the interview process might look like, or the application process. And so a lot of times you may be asking yourself, like, what does it mean to do my major at Medtronic? So we have coming up, SHPE and Medtronic are going to host a panel of early career professionals who are going to discuss what it means to be a professional in a specific major at Medtronic and showcase the array of careers that are possible. We are so excited about these early career panels. They are going to do a wonderful job of really introducing you guys to kind of what a day in the life looks like for these various majors. As well as what can I do with my major? Because the thing that's so awesome about a global company like this is that biomedical engineers are going to be doing a million different things. And so we're going to really be able to show you the variety of careers. So just so you guys know, registration for those career panels are required. And just like tonight, recording will be sent to all registered attendees. So when I send this PDF out of this presentation, the registration links are here in this table. I'll also send those as another separate PDF. You can also find the links to register for those early career panels on our website. And I also want to share with you guys, just like tonight, anyone is invited to those career panels. So if you have your other SHPE members, you're welcome to, say, hey, I think you might want to attend this career panel. Also, we have finance, information technology, and supply chain. Those opportunities are available for non-SHPE members too. So if you have any of your peers that are in those majors that you think might be a good fit or might be interested, I definitely recommend, encourage you guys, share this stuff, follow us on social. We're going to be, creating some stuff for that. So share that as well. So so I just want to thank Alicia for joining us this evening. We have had such a great introduction to the internship program and opportunities through Medtronic for summer 2022. So I know we've had some great questions here in the chat. So I'm just going to read through some of those so we make sure that others can hear them. And so in terms of application and location, they're at a variety of locations. And so someone had just asked if there was a way to indicate which location you would like to do. So I'll let Alicia either answer in the chat, or if you wanted to hop on video, you're welcome, whichever way you feel most comfortable responding to that question. But if you guys have questions and you want to ask them in the chat, or if you want to hop on video, we're happy to cover those questions for you here.
Yeah, so there is a great question. If students can choose their location. So I would say for students that pass the first round of interviews, so as Ashleigh showed, the application through SHPE, that will be the first round of interviews. So the second round of interviews takes place with hiring managers. And at that point, we survey students to find out your preferences for not only locations, but our operating units that you'd be interested in. So we try to match those as closely as we can to the opportunities we have. We have about 350 engineering internships available. And then in the other functions, there's a little bit less than that. So for finance, IT, and supply chain, there's less than those, but engineering, I would say, is our largest portion of internships. So we try to match you as closely as possible to your preferences. So if you're open to different locations, we obviously provide relocation and housing assistance. But if you'd rather stay in a certain geographical location, we take those into consideration for the different opportunities we have. And I know it was mentioned, what locations. So it would be Tempe, Arizona. There's several in California. So Sunnyvale, Northridge, Santa Ana, and there's a few others. And then there's Boston, Massachusetts, and North Haven, Connecticut, several in Minneapolis. And then we also have Jacksonville, Florida, and Colorado. So Boulder, Colorado, and Louisville, Colorado. So we do have a wide range of opportunities across the US. So hopefully, something would be of interest to the students that apply.
Awesome. So we got another question here. How can you make yourself stand out during the application process? So, Arturo, that's a wonderful question. What I would say is, from my perspective, and I'll let Alicia expand upon this, is, make sure you do your research, spend that time, learn some stuff about Medtronic. We talked about their mission and how important that is, understanding their mission and how what you do and your passions and goals, how it connects to their mission. That's going to be something that's going to make you stand out for sure. Another thing that's really important is that they use the STAR process with interviewing. And so make sure that you are practicing going through possible scenarios, going through some of those. There's lots of practice places online. That virtual interview that I recommended from our Latin X Factor goes over kind of some good strategies and some good, ways to practice those. So definitely those are really good ways just in general that I encourage people to stand out for any interview. Alicia, what, would you give on top of that to help them stand out for a Medtronic interview?
Yeah, I would say I would echo all of those sentiments. And I would also say for your resume, you're going to want to really make sure that you clearly show how you meet the qualifications. So you want to show your GPA because it makes it a lot easier when there's people reviewing your resume to make sure that, you know, yes, this person meets all of the requirements and you stand out. I would say, you know, we're not expecting students to have previous internship experience, but any way that you can highlight extracurricular activities. So if you've been involved in any student organizations, whether as a participant or a leader, I think that makes you stand out, as well as even volunteer activities that you do. So giving back to the community is really important for us at Medtronic. So if you can showcase those type of activities, as well as, let's say you don't have a lot of previous internship experience, if you've been kind of an assistant to a professor or any types of projects that you think would be relevant to the internship opportunity, you can highlight those on your resume. I think that will make you stand out as well. And just really research the company because, you know, as you speak to interviewers, when they ask you questions, it's really great to showcase what you know about the company and how you can contribute to the organization. So I think just do a little bit of research. You don't have to do a ton. There's so much online. That's kind of the great thing, is that you can find so much information about any company really, and just showcase that in your interviews and be confident. I would say, you know, we don't expect you to have all of this experience coming in as interns, but just showcase that you're confident and that you're willing to take on challenges, you're willing to learn and just build on your skill sets. I think eagerness goes a long way. Sometimes when, you know, you don't know a whole lot about, you know, what the future holds, but I think that's the whole point of an internship, is to gain that exposure. And really, you know, as much as we're interviewing you, think of it as you're interviewing us as well, to see if, you know, if we're a fit for you. So definitely go in with confidence to your interviews.
That was really good advice and wonderful. Thank you. Another question I have here is, if the early career panel we're interested in conflicts with the class, what could we do? And so just like this, it's going to be shared with you. So go ahead and register. And then we'll send that to you afterwards. So you can watch that, hopefully get some of those questions that you may have answered. But, you know, I know that we're happy to connect you if you needed to follow up with somebody. You know, definitely don't feel like if it's conflicting with the class that you shouldn't watch that at a later time that works better for you. All right, guys, are there any other questions here this evening?
I got a quick question. So that question partially answers the question I had. So if I was to apply and do the automated portion, the first step, that gets me going, right? So I can later watch the video from the September 7th event, because I'll miss it because of the class, and I'll still be in a selection.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I didn't mean to confuse that. So there's a registration for the career panel that's separate. And then the application is separate as well. So you can register for those career panels. If you go to our website, there's a early career panels portion. Just click on that, register. You don't even have to have started your application for that. Yep. And then when you're ready to start your application process, you'll get those screening questions. And if you pass those, then you'll get ready to start that application process.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking that. I definitely needed to clarify that. Any other questions this evening, guys?
I have a question. So first of all, thank you to Alicia and Ashleigh for presenting tonight. And my question is that, are there multiple rounds of hiring interns around the season at Medtronic?
So that's a great question. We do all of our summer internship recruiting in the fall. So this fall will be the only time we recruit for next summer.
So outside of the September 19th deadline, there will be no more rounds of interviewing and application?
So the September 19th is for that first round of interviews. And then the second round of interviews happens with the hiring managers around late October. But then after that, we extend offers in the early November timeframe. So students receive offers before Thanksgiving for next summer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a great question.
All right, got a couple more questions here. So with the first round of interviews, with the virtual interviews, you do just get one try at recording your response. They do have a fail-safe in there. So if you accidentally hit record and then hit stop 2 seconds later, they know like something went wrong. But you do, just like a normal interview, you don't get to say, just kidding, that didn't count. And so you will get one try, just like an in-person interview. So just prepare in the same way for that. That was a really good question. Another question we have here that I can answer really quickly is SHPE members. SHPE membership is not required to apply for the internship program. We're going to be giving preference to SHPE members, absolutely, but it's not going to be required for this internship program. Let's see, we're starting to get quite a few questions here, so hopefully we can get through all of these. What does the daily workday of an intern at Medtronic look like? So I'm going to say if Alicia has a quick answer to that. If not, I would definitely encourage you to look at, catch us for those early career panels, because that's absolutely one of the questions we're going to talk about is what does a day in the life look like? So if Alicia, if you have a quick response to that.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to suggest. The career, if you can attend in person or on virtually, you can always listen to the recording, but those will be engineers and finance individuals, people with supply chain backgrounds that specifically work at Medtronic, and they can give you an insight view as to what our interns work on at the company. Another great place to look at would be the job or the internship postings, because it does give examples of the type of projects and work that you would do for each of the different internships.
Yeah, and there's a really great link Alicia shared with me that I will share out as well, that a recording that Medtronic made about, what surprised you the most about being an intern. So I will definitely include that in the information I send out to you guys. Another question we got is, if I don't get accepted for this year, will there be another opportunity next year? The great news is this is a 4-year relationship. We are in it for the long haul. So absolutely, we wish you the best and hope this year works out. But if not, we definitely will have continued relationship. So another question we have is, how does this internship application interact with the SHPE National Convention? And so this will be before convention. So it's really important so that September deadline happens before then. And so you want to make sure that you are doing that application before that September 19th deadline. That's what's going to get you into this, application pool and get you eligible to participate in kind of those wraparound services that SHPE is providing as well. So that's another wonderful question there. All right, they are sure coming in. So if we register for the workshops, do we get a recording of the meeting? Absolutely, yes. All of those early career panels, if you guys are not able to make them, we are going to share them out. You will get a recording of them so you can watch them. We know you guys are in classes, so we know that might not be possible, and we're all across the United States. So we will absolutely be sharing those with you guys, hopefully a day, no longer than a day after they happen. So, all right, guys, what other questions do we have tonight? All right. Well, I want to thank Alicia for joining us. This was so helpful. Hopefully we got most of your questions answered. We got one last question that came in here. Paid after the internship is over or during?
Yeah, that's a great question. So your students are paid during, so every 2 weeks, and it's an hourly rate. So yeah, great question.
Yep, that's awesome.
They are very competitive rates. So I will say we do a lot of market analysis to make sure that our rates are competitive. So we want to make sure that you're paid fairly for your time. So yeah, great question.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I think we're going to call it a night. But again, thank you to Alicia. Thank you guys for taking time out of your evening and joining us. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help support you. And I want to say good night from SHPE National, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.